If anybody want to know why I don't support Eric July, it's this picture right here. When a black man goes off code, he ain't getting none of my money. Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at lulu.com today. Better get the gold slow, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. A lot of people wonder what my issue is with comic creator Eric July. Now, Eric July is a YouTuber who has built up a big following of those on the right and the far right, and he's become very popular with over 1 million subscribers. However, my issues with him have nothing to do with his social media popularity. No, my issues with Eric July are the fact that he is an off-code black man. Now, I was considering supporting Eric July, and I agreed with many of the positions he made in many of his videos. However, there was one photo that basically made me walk away from Eric July as he was creating his Rippaverse line of comics. Now, I was this close to going out here and putting in a pledge for ISOM #1, and after listening to him talk about how bad things were in the comic book industry, and I was considering putting in a pledge for ISOM because, one, I wanted to continue supporting a black-owned business and keep black dollars in the community, and two, I thought that he would be a black comics creator who was more focused on black empowerment. However, after I saw a photo of Eric July on Twitter with him posed next to Kyle Rittenhouse, that's where I decided to walk away from Eric July, because Eric July, as I saw it, was not interested in going out here and being a part of black empowerment as a black-owned business. No, what he was looking to do was go out here and bootlick for white supremacy, because any black man who stands by Kyle Rittenhouse is not standing by black people. Now, as I saw it, Eric July was basically out here looking to bootlick and pander to those on the right and the far right at this point, because Kyle Rittenhouse was not somebody who was a friend to black people back when he was looking to go out here and volunteer in Kenosha. Now, in the time of the Kenosha riots, Kyle Rittenhouse was eager to go to Kenosha, Wisconsin, even though he lived in Illinois. And the main reason I believe that Kyle Rittenhouse wanted to go to Kenosha, Wisconsin, wasn't to help the police like he proposed. No, what I believe Kyle Rittenhouse wanted to do was he wanted to go out here and take the lives of many black people as possible. Because there is no reason why a minor would want to go to a riot zone to help police, as I saw it, because a minor has no business in a riot, because a riot is something that a watch commander is trying to contain, and anybody who cares about law enforcement understands that their job as related to helping law enforcement, if they are not trained in any way, shape, or form, is to stay out of the riot zone and allow those law enforcement officers to contain the entire situation. Moreover, if Kyle Rittenhouse was serious about going out here and supporting law enforcement, he would understand things like chain of command as related to male authority, and understand that as part of chain of command, a volunteer has no place in a riot zone, and any good watch commander would not have allowed Kyle Rittenhouse to come to Kenosha, Wisconsin, a minor with a firearm. Any good watch commander would have gone out here and understood this, but the watch commanders in Kenosha, Wisconsin basically were looking to covertly go out here and support white supremacy. So they gave Kyle Rittenhouse a pass to come into that riot zone. And as he went into that riot zone, he basically proved a point that Joe Friday made in an old 1969 or 1970 Dragnet episode, where you don't want to have civilians in a riot area because they can go out here and make themselves into a liability where they either harm others or they put themselves in harm's way. And that's what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. And instead of people seeing him as a danger to himself due to his zealous nature as related to law enforcement, and really, as I see it, basically his zeal for wanting to hurt black people, Kyle Rittenhouse came there and went into that riot zone, got confronted by non-black people, and wound up killing 2 of them and maiming another. And this is the guy Eric July wants to stand by, and if he's standing by Kyle Rittenhouse, I cannot stand by him. And that's the main reason why I cannot support Eric July, because Eric July, basically, as I see it, is one of these black bootlicks, and one of these black bootlicks who's looking to give cover to those on the far right, not understanding those on the far right, just like those on the far left, are anti-black, and red and blue on those extremes are both anti-black. But that doesn't stop Eric July from looking to give these white racists cover, and give these racists cover because he wants to go out here and believe he can profit at their expense. That's what Eric July believes as related to the entire situation, and that's why he'll go out here and try to promote the whole idea of being so-called libertarian, not understanding all political platforms are anti-black, and they basically use black people as pawns to further their agenda. And while Eric July believes that he's going to profit in the short term, he doesn't understand how he's going to lose in the long term, because as Professor Black Truth has stated in numerous videos, bootlick is a job without a retirement plan. Because once many of those on the far right get tired of having Eric July be their shield so that they can go out here and defend their positions, what they will do is what they've done to Candace Owens right now, and toss and discard him. Because what happens with many of those on the far right is that, yes, they'll let you make money like those on the far left do with people like Lizzo. Yes, they'll let you go out here and make lots of money. They'll let you go out here and run a business as long as they benefit from it. But once they have finished using you, they go out here and discard you. So this is why I do not support Eric July, because Eric July doesn't support black people or black empowerment. No, he believes that he is an American first, not understanding America is a white supremacist country, and in a white supremacist country, a black person is black first and American second, and a black person has to understand they need to be black first, because every other group is going to see you as last. Unfortunately, black bootlicks try to create these covert contracts where they believe if they give a pass to all of the racism around them, they will get acceptance. And that's basically what Eric July was looking for with that whole picture with Kyle Rittenhouse. And once he took that picture with Kyle Rittenhouse, that's when I wrote him off, because if you're going out here participating in off-code behavior, that's when I gotta cut you off as related to going out here and looking to support you. Again, I was gonna go out here and support ISOM the way I used to support Concrete Comics, but once I saw off-code behavior, that's when I had to walk away from Eric July, just like I did with Concrete after they produced that Primate comic, which featured a black man with an ape mask. Once you go off code, I cannot support a product from a black-owned business, because if you're out here producing off-code product, then I gotta go out here and walk away from you. I mean, I gotta walk away when you go out here and participate in off-code behavior, like supporting Kyle Rittenhouse, a guy who was supported by known white supremacists and has gone out here and been supported on white supremacist platforms, and has also been out here, and again, I believe, this is my personal belief, that he was possibly looking for black people to take their lives, because the only reason I believe he went to Kenosha wasn't because of just the riot. I believe the main reason he came there was because he saw this riot happen because a black man was shot by a white police officer, and I believe he possibly would have just stayed home had that been a white man shooting another white man. I don't believe he would have even thought about begging his mom to go to Kenosha if this was a white person shooting a white person, or a white cop shooting a white person. The only reason I believe he went down there was because he felt that there was an injustice done by this black group of rioters, and he wanted to go out here and go down there because of black people. That is my personal belief as related to Kyle Rittenhouse. And the whole thing is, that's what makes Eric July supporting him quite troubling, because he's out here supporting a man who might have possibly had only one motivation: to go to Kenosha to take the lives of black people, and he wants to stand with this guy, not understanding how these white supremacists use him as a shield to say, oh, we're not racist, when they're actually participating in anti-black racism, because the whole Kenosha riots basically were due to what people saw as anti-black racism, where a black man was shot by a white cop. And what happened was Kyle Rittenhouse wanted to go down to support the police, not understanding that as a minor, the way you support police is by going out here and obeying the law. And part of obeying the law for a minor is to understand that you need to respect the chain of command of male authority, and any man who has ethics as a part of law enforcement. They don't want minors in their riot area carrying a AR-style weapon. They don't want that there, but Eric July stands behind this, and since he's going off code, I have to stay on code as related to black empowerment. And I'm staying on code as related to black empowerment because I don't support those who are out here looking to gain the favor of those on the far left or the far right or any political position, because black empowerment isn't about anybody's political position, because we know that all the political positions are anti-black, and those who support those positions are anti-black. So when I look at Eric July, I see a black bootleg, and that's basically reflected to me in his Isom comic book, where he puts the black characters in the background and looks to gain the favor of many white creators like Chuck Dixon and many others by making them the foreground of his world. And that basically is textbook black bootleg behavior. And when it comes to black bootlegs, I don't support their products. I don't support any black bootleg out here, whether it be Eric July or the Cream of Wheat Man, Eric Adams, or many of the other sellouts that are out here, wherever they are. I don't support them because it's about, when I think of media, I think of guys like Bill Cosby who create media for black empowerment, because you want to elevate the image of black people and elevate black people and show something that can give people pride. And that's what I try to do when I go out here and support black-owned businesses and black creators. I want to go out here and support the black creators who are out here elevating people, in addition to the comic creators just making great stories. I don't want to go out here and support somebody based on who has a political position that is anti-black, because supporting anybody who's anti-black is the same as going out here and supporting a white supremacist. And when I look at Eric July, when he was standing next to Kyle Rittenhouse, I couldn't support this man because this man and his products are completely off code for black people. Now, if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to pick up my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find that comic on Lulu.com by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to help me make the next SJS Direct comic, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App. And any comic I produce doesn't have any sort of heavy political themes and is mainly made to be all ages family entertainment. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.